And good afternoon, everyone. This is Kilo Charlie 9, Victor Kilo Victor. My name is Jim, and this is the Friday afternoon Qso-Vlog network. This is a directed network, and I am net control. If at any time during this net, should an emergency arise, please notify net control, and we'll stand by and allow those in need to access this frequency. Is there any priority or emergency traffic at this time? And hearing nothing, we will continue. This net is all about ham radio and being all that you can be. That's what our Qso-Vlog network is all about, trying to help people achieve the best sounding station possible. Thanks for dropping by. FYI, my background is 50 years in commercial broadcasting, where a lot of big bucks are spent on audio processing equipment and getting it set up correctly to get the loudest, fullest sounding station possible. Well, long story short, when I became a ham radio operator, I could hear immediately a large discrepancy in on-air technical proficiency. A lot of stations were running with very poor mic equalization, very muddy, with little articulation. And as I continued to work stations, I realized most of the stations were also running very low average peak modulation, many around 30% of average peak modulation. So with my background, I felt I could help, or at least try. I knew that most modern-day ham transceivers did have enough onboard processing equipment to be able to overcome most all of the problems. So it would just be a matter of developing a generic dynamic range setup procedure and then adjusting the onboard EQ gear. And so I started the Qso-Vlog network with the phrase, "If you have a radio you want to check out, give us a shout." And today, we're currently featuring over 1,800 Qso-Vlog Aircheck recordings. Our mission statement for the network is to establish a higher technical level of radio transmissions of the human voice by the intelligent utilization of available electronics in current amateur radio transceivers. Our setup, while generic in nature, converts the average 10 dB dynamic range transmitter with an average 30% of peak modulation to a much fuller 3 dB dynamic range with an average 80 to 85% of peak modulation. This substantial boost in audio transmit level is extremely beneficial in high noise levels and heavy QRM. It allows you to punch through when others fail. The second part of our transmitter setup has to do with proper mic equalization. We're looking to optimize the transmitted voice for a higher degree of intelligibility through the use of EQ patterns that bring out the articulation aspects of the human voice. Again, why need to hear the voice if you can't understand the words? Also this afternoon on the receive side, we're running 4 Internet SDR receivers, monitoring New York, Pennsylvania, Georgia, and Virginia, trying to get the best signal out of our 100-watt friends. Now, the audio from these 4 SDR receivers comes up on a 6-position rotary selector. Also in the selector is our local receiver audio. And today, our local receiver is running 3 large 10-foot vertical magnetic loop antennas, one aimed at 0 degrees, one aimed at 90 degrees, and number 3 is aimed at 45 degrees. In addition to these, they may be rotated, 2 of them may be rotated separately. They are selected by a 4-position rotary push-button selector, and any one of the loops may be co-phased. Also today on the transmit side, we will be running our no SWR specially oriented dipole antenna. One leg of this dipole is broadside to Montreal, Canada. The other side is broadside to Miami, Florida. As we were constructing our station, our mantra was 20 over from Montreal to Miami with a hotspot through the Carolinas. And although conditions may vary, the general performance of this antenna supports its mission. Also today, we'll be running our input source indicator. So when we switch from an Internet SDR receiver to our local receiver, you'll be able to hear the switch and see the switch. You'll have to check it out on our YouTube Qso-Vlog video. And as we come together for another Friday afternoon Qso-Vlog network, let us pause just a moment for the amateur radio operator's prayer. Lord, we pray for clear 20 over S9 communications today, that all our transmissions fill the air and reach their destinations QSA5 to be understood by all. And as we pray for good radio conditions, let us also pray for good human conditions. During this time of pandemic that has challenged us all, we pray that you will protect everyone, especially our elderly. And also, Lord, we seek your divine intervention to bring peace to a very divided United States. As we go through a very conflicting time in America's history, with dark clouds all around, we pray that you'll reduce life's daily political QRM between our brothers and sisters. And through your love and guidance, show us the way to find peace and harmony. Help us to communicate with one another 20 over S9. Thank you, Lord, and God bless and protect America. Amen. To continue, since this is an area of the band where there have been many nets trying to operate in a very confined area, I would appreciate all stations checking into our Qso-Vlog net to keep their bandpass to no wider than 100 to 2900. Again, please, no wider than 100 to 2900. This is the Friday afternoon Qso-Vlog network, and now we'll check in and see if Charlie K1GZL is on frequency to bring us up to date on the latest 40-meter band propagation. Charlie's QTH is up north in northern New Hampshire, near the Canadian border. Charlie, got a copy?
Charlie, got a copy?
And there was some doubt that Charlie would be able to join us this afternoon. He's been having some health issues and wasn't quite sure of when he would be getting out of the hospital. So we'll be praying for Charlie and his complete recovery. May he join us just as quickly as possible. This is the Friday afternoon Qso-Vlog network, and we'll get down to business now. If you have a radio you want to check out, give us a shout.
Radio you want to check out, give us a shout.
Somebody is QSRP. QSRP station, come back slowly phonetically with your call sign, please.
Come back slowly phonetically with your call sign, please.
Yes, sir. This is Kilo Echo 5 Golf Yankee. Golf Yankee, Nashville, Tennessee, 10-watt QRP station. How copy?
Well, gosh, GY, I'm copying you. Looks like about 8 over the Georgia SDR noise level. We're not copying you locally, but why don't you give me about 10 seconds or so and tell me about your transmitter there, and I'll see if I can get you on my local loop antenna, my mag loop. Roger?
The loop antenna, my mag loop. Roger?
Roger that. Roger. Tennessee, about 12-15 miles east of downtown Nashville. I'm running I'm running 10 watts off of a Kenwood 830S. That's all I can get out of this 830S. The tube's gone soft on me, so I decided to go QRP, and it will only push 10 to 12 watts into a magnetic loop. Into a magnetic loop antenna sitting on a tripod inside the garage, inside my garage. Magnetic loop antenna on a tripod inside my garage. Is that copy?
Oh, yes, sir. Yes, sir. And you're like 7 dB over the Atlanta, Georgia SDR noise level. 7 over the Atlanta SDR noise level. I looked on my loops and I couldn't pick you up there. I thought I could hear you faintly, but I'm running 3 10-foot vertical magnetic loops, and we've been trying to rotate them, and it just takes too long for that. So I built a 3rd magnetic loop and try to divide the geography as best we could. So one's aimed at 0 degrees, one aimed at 90 degrees, and the other's aimed at 45 degrees. So I'm hoping that we will not have to rotate them, because it just gets time-consuming to do that. But like I say, I do have a good copy on you for 10 watts, Roger, Roger.
Like I say, I do have a good copy on you for 10 watts, Roger, Roger.
Roger that. And what was your name and call sign so I can get it logged?
Yes, sir. The name here is Jim, Juliet, India, Mike. The call is Kilo Charlie 9 Victor Kilo Victor. This is the Qso-Vlog net Friday afternoons between 3:30 and 5 when we record all the time and then post it up on YouTube. So if you would like to hear your audio, if you go to YouTube and do a call letter search for KC9VKV followed by today's date 9/10/21, that will bring up this recording, and it usually takes us a couple of days to get it uploaded. Roger?
Takes us a couple of days to get it uploaded. Roger?
Roger that. I appreciate that. That sounds very interesting, Jim. Thank you very much. And let me make sure I have your call correct here. Is it Kilo Charlie 9 Victor Oscar Victor?
Victor Kilo Victor. Victor Kilo Victor. And what's the name that way?
Victor Kilo Victor. And what's the name that way?
Jerry, Juliet, Echo, Radio Yankee, Jerry, like a German jury camp.
Yes, sir, Jerry. Well, you've got a good signal there for 10 watts, buddy. That's great. Love to hear those expeditions with low power. Roger?
Hear those expeditions with low power. Roger?
Roger that. Okay, let me make sure I have your call correctly, because I do want to check in later couple of days on YouTube and hear what my audio sounds like on this 0830S 10 watts. Jim, let me make sure your call have it correctly. Is it Kilowatt Charlie 9 Victor Quebec Victor? Is that correct?
Victor Kilo Victor VKV Victor Kilo Victor. Roger?
VKV Victor Kilo Victor. Roger?
Okay, I got it. Victor King Victor Kilo Victor. Got it, Jim. Thank you very much for letting me check in. Let you get back to your net. And I appreciate you coming back to me. I've just been testing this thing out for several days now, and I just wanted you to know that I appreciate you coming back to me, Jim. Kilowatt Charlie 9 Victor Kilo Victor, and I will look that up on YouTube. KC9VKV.
Roger, Jerry. 73 that way, sir. Thanks for dropping by. If you get a chance, drop by next Friday. This is the Friday afternoon Qso-Vlog net. We record now live till 5 and then post it up on YouTube. So if you want to hear what your radio sounds like, give me a shout.
So if you want to hear what your radio sounds like, give me a shout.
I heard somebody again on the Georgia SDR station calling. Try again, please.
The Georgia SDR station calling. Try again, please.
November 1, Lima, Quebec, N1LQ.
N1LQ. This is Kilo Charlie 9 Victor Kilo Victor, the Friday afternoon Qso-Vlog net. What's the name there?
Victor, the Friday afternoon Qso-Vlog net. What's the name there?
Hello, Jim. KC9VKV from November 1, London, Quebec. The name is David, and we're located about 20 miles north of Boston, Massachusetts, and I'm copying you about a 5 and 8 with a little QSB. Over.
Roger, David. And what radio are you running today, sir?
Roger, David. And what radio are you running today, sir?
Well, we're running an unusual transceiver. This is called an RGO1. RGOONE. It is a power transceiver made in Bulgaria by LZ2JR. I've had it since a year ago, May. I've never heard it, but it's a very nice radio, one of my favorites of all time. The receiver is very, very both sensitive and selective. And
Please, frequencies in use. No tune-up, please.
Frequencies in use. No tune-up, please.
Far more advanced than from ago. 30 of them around the world right now because they're made in very small production lots. So that's the score here. It's running about 45 watts, 4 or 5 watts, Jim, to an oxygen-fed dipole, a Carolina Wyndham, at about 60 feet. KC9VKV from N1L2. I hope you copy.
Yes, sir. David copied most of that. There was somebody that just had to tune up. You know how that goes. But I think they got tuned up finally and did copy the mail. And if you would like to hear your station, we are recording now. And if you go to YouTube and do a call letter search for KC9VKV, followed by today's date, 9/10/21, it will take you directly to this recording. And it usually takes us a couple of days to get it uploaded, Roger.
And it usually takes us a couple of days to get it uploaded, Roger.
QSL on that. We'll look forward to that. I've never heard this radio before. It is not actually a completed project. It still is waiting for development of an onboard speech processor. So this has no nor does it. And I'm using it with Microsoft. So it's a simple rig, but we have excellent success with it, and we enjoy it very much. So thank you for your time today, and we'll look forward to hearing it on the recording on YouTube in a few days. So we appreciate it. KC9VKV from N1LQ. Back to you, John.
Roger, Roger, David. Well, someone has decided to operate a couple of KC off. So after we've been on the air for about 15 minutes already, they decided to scooch in there at about 2K off, and we had a little sideband garbage. But anyway, such is life in the big city. Well, like I say, we'll have this probably posted maybe Saturday morning, but at least within 48 hours anyway. So thanks for dropping by. And gosh, what is the term for good luck in Bulgarian? Do you know?
For good luck in Bulgarian, do you know?
I have no idea, and I'm very fortunate that the gentleman who makes this radio runs a business in Bulgaria, electronics business, and he speaks much better English than I ever would Bulgarian. QSL?
Oh, Roger, Roger. Well, the radio really sounds good. And you know, the thing is, maybe you might be better off with an outboard processing piece of gear there, because you know, they make fairly inexpensive outboard processors that give you a wide latitude of control, and you can just plug it in your mic, Roger.
And you can just plug it in your mic, Roger.
Yes, QSL on that. I actually have an older Pentec 715 outboard RF processor here that I use on my other station, which is a Corsair 2, a legacy station from 1989. And I haven't yet gotten to trying it out with this radio, but we're going to experiment with that in the next few weeks or days. So good suggestion, and I appreciate that very much. Over.
Roger, Roger, David. And one other thing, where are you located, sir?
Roger, Roger, David. And one other thing, where are you located, sir?
Yes, I'm about 20 miles north of Boston, Mass. And the town is called Middleton, 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 Massachusetts. Population of about 9,000 people. This location over those years, Jim. Over.
Roger, Roger, David. I was just looking around to see if I could copy you locally on my loops, and I could not hear anything. So I am copying you on the Georgia, believe it or not, the Georgia SDR, Roger. And you're looks to be about 6 to 7 dB above the noise level.
About 6 to 7 dB above the noise level.
QSL. I heard you calling for Charlie up in northern New Hampshire. We have heard him on the air for many, many years. And I was disturbed and saddened to hear that he is not in good health right now. But we'll hope and pray that he recovers and continues to be able to be on the air. He is a very interesting gentleman, Jim. Over.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. The Quad Essential ham radio operator. Before Marconi, I think. I'm not sure if he was before Marconi or not, Roger.
Marconi, I'm not sure if he was before Marconi or not, Roger.
I think he was down on Westfleet Beach to welcome Marconi when he stepped off the boat. QSL?
Yeah, that sounds about right. I was looking at Charlie's QRZ page, and I think he's got something like 3,700 lookups. Just amazing amount of lookups on QRZ, Roger.
Good lookups. Just amazing amount of lookups on QRZ, Roger.
Yeah, QSL. He's been doing it a long time, and he's always been very gracious with QSOs that I've had with him. So, again, he's the voice of the far north of New Hampshire, up to very, very far up near the Canadian border, up in the area of the Balsams and Colebrook, New Hampshire, which is a long way from my QTH QSO.
Roger, Roger. Well, David, let me say 73 to you, sir, and thanks for dropping by. And like I say, we'll have this up to YouTube in the next 48 hours, probably 24 hours, Roger.
YouTube in the next 48 hours, probably 24 hours, Roger.
We'll look forward to it. It'll be something for us to listen to. It's greatly appreciated, Jim. As I said, I have never heard this over the air, and I'm looking forward to getting what it sounds like. So my regards to you. That's 73, and we'll look for you another afternoon. KC9 Victor, Kilo Victor from N1LQ. Best to you, Jim. 73 for now.
Roger, Roger, David 73, sir. This is the Friday afternoon Qso-Vlog net. We're recording now live till 5, then we'll post it up on YouTube, so you can go to YouTube and do a call letter search for KC9VKV, followed by today's date, 9/10/21, and it will take you directly to this recording. So if you have a radio you want to check out, give me a shout.
So if you have a radio you want to check out, give me a shout.
I want to check out some of our loop antenna stuff here. We've been working on building our third loop, and it's amazing that each loop is so characteristically different. You would think, gosh, you build 3 10-foot vertical magnetic loops, it's like falling off a horse, you know, you just get back on. But each one, when you get down to checking SWR, each one is very critical and very different. I don't know if it has to do with the geographic size. 10-foot loop is rather large, and we're using inch helix as the main loop. And I don't know if it's the size or what, but each one is a labor of love as far as working out the SWR. And you know, each one you start with maybe a 14 SWR. And you're obviously looking for a 1-to-1, but sometimes you have to compromise. This third one that I've just built, I'm running at right now at about a 2.4. I've got some plans though to bring that on down. It just it takes time, you know. And so the idea is that instead of we have 2 of them on rotors. And one is fixed, but the other 2 are on rotors. And the original idea was to be able to pan left, right, whatever for signal differences in directionality. But I'm right now thinking, revising that and thinking about using them as like scanner antennas and dividing the geographic space. Right, like now one is pointed at 0 degrees, one is pointed at 90 degrees, and the other is pointed at 45. So between those 3, we have quite a bit of geography covered. And we just have to see how that works. It's all new. I can't find much in writing about large loops, and sometimes it's amazing that the directionality of the loop does not seem to follow by the book of what you would normally think the loop forward and the nulls are concerned. In tuning them, I have found that the best way to start tuning them is tune them to the null, find the null, and then you can work out the forward part of it. But the null is a lot sharper than the forward gain, and forward directionality, should I say. So if you find the null, and then you can interpolate what the forward part of the loop radiation is. Anyway, this is the Friday afternoon Qso-Vlog net. If you have a radio you want to check out, give me a shout.
Kilo November 4 Alpha Delta Mike.
The Alpha Delta Mike station, come back slowly phonetically with the call sign, please.
Delta Mike station, come back slowly phonetically with the call sign, please.
Roger, Jim. This is Kilo November 4 Alpha Delta Mike. Name here is Reggie. Reggie, Romeo Echo Golf Golf India Echo, and I'm located in southeast Georgia, Roger.
Yes, sir, Reggie. And what radio are you running today, sir?
Yes, sir, Reggie. And what radio are you running today, sir?
I'm running a 991A, Yaesu FT 991A. You've helped me set it up in the past, but I'd like to get you to help me check it and make sure it's still okay. And I've got a couple of questions for you.
Yes, sir. Looking at your audio, you're fine. Your 3 dB dynamic range, just like last we left, Roger.
Your 3 dB dynamic range, just like last we left, Roger.
Roger that. Yeah. I've sort of become the go-to guy in our group and club. If people get some new radio, they come to me for help with their audio, and I just tell them your tune-up procedure. 100 to 2900 on the bandpass, and then compressor on at a 3, mid-scale to 2/3 on the ALC. The only thing, without a spectrum analyzer or any the equipment you have, is there any way to tell if they need a little top-end boost or not without a bunch of meters or anything?
Yes, sir. When you listen to them, you want to hear the S's, the syllabic aspects of the human voice, the S's. A lot of times, dynamic microphones do not reproduce the upper end of the audio spectrum very well in comparison to electret condenser microphones. Electret condenser microphones do just a tremendous job as far as intelligibility and keeping the upper part of the audio spectrum clean. So, as you listen to them, listen for their S's, and if they sound muddy, or you can't quite hear them as clean as what you think you could, then ask them maybe they could increase their treble EQ by a couple of clicks or 3. Usually you can't go wrong with that suggestion one way or the other, Roger.
Usually you can't go wrong with that suggestion one way or the other, Roger.
Roger. I know a lot of them. I've seen them, and they'll take the bottom end and they'll go down with it. I usually get them to bring that up flat, to have that the mid range or the low range, get it sort of flat, because honestly, in most cases, I don't think you need a whole lot of it.
Roger, Reggie. Well, the thing is, an equalizer is designed to bring the top end balanced to the mid-range and bring the bottom end balanced to the mid-range. So much so that even like 7300, 7610, they don't even bother putting a mid-range control in there. It is there, but it's not accessible, because they want that flat. And you want your, like a 3-band EQ, you want the mid-range flat, because if you boost the mid-range, it's so much harder for the bottom end and the top end to catch up. If you just leave the mid-range EQ flat, then it's fairly easy to boost the bottom of the top end, whatever you need to do there. But the thing is, there is rolling off the bottom, to achieve a good balance, rolling off the bottom is not the same thing as boosting the top. A lot of folks think, well, I just roll off some of the bottom and it'll do the same thing, but it doesn't. You want to try to keep that bottom end flat and then increase the top end, even if you have to go to, say, 7300, 7610, you go to +5 top end EQ, that's not a problem. That's just making up for the lack of articulation of the microphone that you're using, Roger.
Roger?
Roger that. Yeah, well, that's like I said, I've helped several people in our club and our group set up their radios, and actually they have did contests and the 13 colonies and parks on the air, and they have great results. They are busting pile up when nobody else. I mean, their audio, the way you got it set up, it just pops, and they're being picked up a lot more than other people. So thanks a lot for helping us. You have helped our group a great deal with your setup,
Thank you so very much. Yeah, we're now approaching, just over 1,800 recorded Qso-Vlogs of folks' tune-ups and stuff, and it is a very good, if I may say so, a very good generic tune-up procedure. That was the whole key to it, being able to have a system that we could apply it to many, if not most, transceivers. And our tune-up procedure is generic, and it does wind up with a 3 dB dynamic range, which is a very fat signal, audio-wise, 80 to 85% of average peak modulation, but it's not blurry. That's the thing. It's very loud, but it's not blurry. Because what happens is if you continue to push, things will get blurry, and once words start to blur, then you've defeated the purpose of good audio. The whole point is for people to be able to understand what you're saying, Roger.
Able to understand what you're saying, Roger.
Roger that, Jim. Well, I appreciate you helping me with that. I was just wondering. Thanks a lot. Love your show. Either listen to it on the radio every week, and I check out your videos on YouTube. Keep up the good work. Thanks a lot, and I'll let you go. And I know you got a lot of other people out there to help. And 7-3s, and you have a great weekend. From Kilo November 4, Alpha Delta Mike.
Roger, Reggie. 73 that way, sir. You have a great afternoon and a beautiful weekend coming up. This is the Friday afternoon Qso-Vlog net. If you have a radio you want to check out, give me a shout.
If you have a radio you want to check out, give me a shout.
Kilo United 8 Lima.
There is a Kilo United station. Kilo United, come back and give me your call slowly, phonetically.
Give me your call slowly, phonetically.
Kilo United 8 Lima.
8 Lima, Roger. This is KC9VKV, Friday afternoon Qso-Vlog net. What's the name there?
Afternoon Qso-Vlog net. What's the name there?
Thank you. The name is Kurt. Charlie Uniform Romeo Tango, and we're just checking out a combination here. This is an old Kenwood 950 SDX, and it's set pretty much standard settings. It hasn't been widened up. The microphone is a Pro Set Plus headset with the Heil mic set on wide. We're running an amp supply LK800 at about 600 watts right at the moment.
Looks pretty good. Might review just a couple of things. You're running in the wide band mode, 100 to 2900, Roger?
Band mode, 100 to 2900, Roger? Yes, that's correct.
Alrighty, and we would suggest that you run a 3 on compression. Compressor engaged at a 3, Roger?
Compressor engaged at a 3, Roger? That's
probably pretty close. I've got a little bit of compression going on. It's probably maybe 3 or 4 dB on the compressor.
Roger. Yeah, we're just looking for about a third of the capability of the compressor. And then once we get that compressor in line, then move to your ALC with mic gain in hand. And as you speak fairly rapidly, 100, 200, 300, you adjust your ALC from mid-scale to 2/3 operation by way of your mic gain control. Roger?
By way of your mic gain control. Roger? Roger. That sounds good. It looks like the compression is probably pretty much where it's supposed to be, and but the gain, I probably, that's peak and half of the gain, half of the ALC right there.
Roger. The ideal sweet spot is that area between mid-scale and 2/3, but you have to have some leeway, so we just say to operate that ALC between mid-scale to 2/3, Roger, and that's to get 80 to 85% average peak modulation. That's where you need to be, just a little bit more than half 50%, Roger.
Than half 50%, Roger. Oh yeah, that sounds good. That's not too far off of what I've been doing here, and of course we have to use the headset. The amplifier is fairly noisy with the blower running, but other than that, it's a beast.
Roger, sounds good. I don't hear any plosives in that headset microphone. Usually we recommend that you take the boom and extend the boom out just as far as you can, and then at the very last minute make that 90-degree turn. So to try to get that mic further away from your lips, so just as far as it can go, and then at the last minute make that 90, Roger?
The last minute make that 90, Roger? Yeah, I got that. That's pretty much where we got it set up. I've got a blast filter over it right at the moment. I'm probably an inch and a half away.
Yeah, Roger, that's a good idea. That's very important, because if you don't have that, you will be getting a lot of lip noise, and you can immediately tell that you're working tight mic. Now with the windscreen, the foam windscreen, it takes care of those transients, and you're just clean, and then nobody even knows that you're wearing a headset boom, Roger?
Knows that you're wearing a headset boom, Roger? Yeah, that sounds pretty good. If you say it sounds all right, that's going to be pretty good for me.
Roger. Now I would, suggest maybe a couple of clicks more top-end treble EQ, boost from where you are. If you have the opportunity to do that, just add a little more credence to the Clearwater there, Roger.
Add a little more credence to the Clearwater there, Roger. I can do that. It's a little bit, it's not a one-button push. This radio's a little bit older, so I got to go into the transmit filter setup. There's not really any EQ going on other than the bandwidth settings on transmit. So I have no what you would call classical parametric EQ available.
Yeah, Roger. Well, just leave it. Close enough for government work. I wouldn't bother. You're really almost there, Roger. I mean, the whole point is that the easier folks can understand what you're saying, that's the whole name of the game. That's what radio is all about. People talking to people. In order for that to happen, they have to understand what each other have to say, Roger.
Roger? Yeah, you see, I hear an awful lot of cannon string audio going on the air these days, and I can't understand, because the equipment is certainly capable of doing much more than that. I certainly appreciate the advice today. This is the first time I've come across your channel, and I'll definitely check out your information, and I'll take heed. It sounds good. By the way, your signal is outstanding. We're right outside of Detroit, Michigan, so I don't think we're too far away from each other. but your audio sounds perfect, and you're peaking 20 over 9 here.
Roger, Roger, Kurt. Yeah, we're just across from Louisville, Kentucky. We're on the Indiana side of the Ohio River, right across from Louisville, Kentucky, home of fast women and beautiful horses.
Fast women and beautiful horses.
Okay. All right, that sounds good. And what was your name, sir, for my log?
Roger, name here is Jim, Juliet, India, Mike. And what is your location, sir? Oh, you told me, but I forgot.
You told me, but I forgot.
It's Livonia, Michigan, Livonia. We are between Ann Arbor and Detroit in the southeast corner.
Roger, I am working on my loop. If you could, why don't you give me about 10 seconds or 15 seconds on your antenna system, and let me see what I can do with my loops locally. Roger?
Oh, roger that. Yeah, the antenna here is a near, slightly off-center set dipole, and it is about 35 feet off the ground. It is an 80-meter OCF, but the end, anything beyond 40 meters is kind of folded either downward or almost back on itself at about a 80 or 90 degree turn or more. So it is oriented, the heart of it is oriented east-west. So, but the ends being folded really puts a lot of abnormal lobes into the pattern. But it's worked out pretty well here. Couple hundred DXCC, and it does it for not having a beam. It's not too bad.
Roger, Roger. I got a really good copy on my one of my loops. I'm not sure. We're running 3 10-foot vertical magnetic loops, and I have the option to co-phase them or just to run them separately. And had a pretty good copy on you. I'm seeing now that you're it could be a little fatter, and I would suggest that you check your ALC when you have an opportunity and adjust with your mic gain as you speak fairly quickly, 100, 200, 300, and you do that so you can bring that ALC meter up and see what it's doing. If you just go 1, 2, 3, the meter never has a chance to really register what the signal is. So you want to go 100, 200, 300, and you have your hand on the mic gain control and you're adjusting for mid-scale to 2/3. And I would suggest you do that. It'll give you a lot fatter signal, but clean. It is never blurry.
Roger, 100, 200, 300, 400, 100, 200, 300, 400. There's a lot more ALC in this signal right here now.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Now, I'm seeing you a lot cleaner, and I'm hearing you a lot better. My local receivers go down to 100 cycles, so most of the internet SDR receivers are rolling off at about 250, so you really can't get an accurate picture of what's going on the lower frequencies with the SDRs by and large. But that's why I wanted to get you over on my local receiver, Roger.
That sounds good. Thank you very much. And that's one of the beauties of the 950 SDX. It's rather an old unit, but certainly the flagship from Kenwood Audio, and it does have the ability to open up the transmit filters down to, I think the low end goes down to 50 or 100 hertz at the low end, and it rolls off. It can open up to 6 kilohertz on the high end, and that is very unusual. So all the enhanced sideband guys like this thing, but right now it's not set that way. It's I think it's down at 100 and up to 24 or 2500 at the high end.
Yeah, Roger. I have a spectrum analyzer on the set that been looking at your audio, and it looks like you're rolling right at 100. You have a pretty good activity down towards 100. You can take a look at it. It's on the recording. If you go to YouTube and do a call letter search for Kilo Charlie 9 Victor Kilo Victor along with today's date 9/10/21, it will bring up this recording, and so it's all on a YouTube search. Roger, Roger.
Oh, that's perfect. What a great service you're doing there. I know that's not a trivial thing to set up either, and I do appreciate it. I will let you go here. I appreciate the information, and we'll fiddle around here a little bit and maybe check in again in a while, and hopefully you can help some other guys out. Thank you, sir. Have a great day. Have a great weekend, and remember all those folks out in New York on the 20th anniversary. This is KU8L saying 73s. Thank you, Jim. Appreciate it.
Roger, Kurt 73, sir, and enjoy your rest of the afternoon and a beautiful weekend coming up. This is KC9VKV, the Friday afternoon Qso-Vlog net. If you have a radio you want to check out, give me a shout.
Whiskey Zulu 9
Whiskey Zulu station, come back slowly phonetically with your call sign, please.
Okay, Dan. Whiskey Zulu 9 WZ9W. Name is Dan in Central Missouri. Go ahead.
Roger, Dan. Why don't you give me about, I'm trying to keep you on my local loop. So give me 10 to 15 seconds and tell me about your antenna system, Roger.
Roger. Well, we're running. I'll tell you the radio first here. We're running a new to me Icon 7610. Just got it last week, and a vertical out here in the backyard with a bunch of radios is the only antenna system I have right now. Jim, go ahead.
Roger. Well, you've got the right radio there. That 7610 is a really nice radio. We have a setup procedure for that. If you'd be interested, starts with you engaging your compressor at a 3. It's a token amount, but it does exactly what we need it to do. So if you're interested in kind of fattening that signal up a tad, it starts with the compressor engaged at a 3. Roger.
Roger. I've been listening to you actually last week and this week, and I have that set up already. I'm also talking to the side of the microphone because I heard you say before that was the best position. And my ALC is right at the top. So I don't know where I'm at, and counting on you to help me out with that, Jim. Go ahead.
Roger. Well, let's see. 7610, you have a button in the front called Quick. A button called Quick on the 7610, Roger.
Roger, got it.
All right, hit Quick, and I'll take you to Drive. And what is Drive reading?
Drive gain is 50%.
All right, take Drive up to 65%. Drive 65, Roger.
The 65% and doing everything the same.
All right, now I would go to my EQ page and tell me what you got there. It's a 2-band EQ. Tell me what the treble and bass readings are.
Oh my, I don't know where that one is at. You'll have to help me on that one.
All righty, a note to self. When you find out where your EQ page is, what you want to do is increase your treble EQ by 3 clicks. 3 clicks boost, treble EQ. Are you using the hand mic?
I am, sir.
Roger, 3 clicks boost, treble EQ. When you find out where your equalization page is, Roger.
Okay, I will do. I'll increase that by 3 clicks.
Roger. I'm looking at your, the audio spectrum there of your audio, and I do have a lot of noise. And the thing is, noise looks on the spectrum analyzer just like voice, but I'm trying to pull out the voice part of that, and it looks like your bottom end is fairly nice. We just need a little more articulation in the top end, Roger.
Okay, Roger on that. Yeah, there's so many buttons on this thing. I haven't figured where everything is at. I actually had the manual out and reading through it and make sure I had the compression set right. And mic gain and did not know about the drive gain. So we'll certainly look for that equalization.
Roger, Roger. I think you're in good shape there. And well, let me get your name. I didn't get your name yet.
Oh, I'm sorry. Name is Dan, Delta Alpha November. And I'm in between St. Louis and Kansas City is where I'm located. We're a town of Columbia, Missouri. I'm just north of there in a really a small town. So around the country here, Jim, go ahead.
Roger, Roger, and that is a 7610 you're running. It's one of the most beautiful radios that go in there. That and the 7300, the little sister to the 7610. They're just both great radios. Well, I think I know them more from the transmitter aspects because that's what we do, and so my experience with the 7300, 7610 is mostly from listening to them and their transmitter, and they both have share just a beautiful limiter circuit that has just very good repetitive zero level functions. Very little blow by. Roger, Roger.
Oh, Roger. Yeah. I actually have the 7300 here as well. Shame on me, but I have something else that I use it for the too lazy to switch things over with. I know it's really easy. And I've been out of hobby for 26 years and got back into it this year, and having a lot of fun with it. Retired and getting to figure all this new equipment out, and hopefully in a month I'll have my tower up and a Mosley tri-bander with a 40-meter cycle on it, extensions on it. So we're trying to get ready for the winter time. Well, Jim, I really appreciate your help, and I'm going to find that and get that all set up, and maybe next week or so I'll come back in, and I have a Heil headset, and I heard you talking about that, and we'll see what we can do with it then, okay?
Roger. Well, I think you're just perfect the way you are, but obviously you need to do what you need to do. But for your specific setup at this point with that microphone, you need plus 3 clicks boost treble EQ from wherever you are at the moment on that EQ. Roger?
Okay. Roger. Jim, appreciate it. And I know a lot of people are listening and wanting to get help from you. You do a great asset for the hobby. You take care, and we'll catch you the next time. WZ9W73, Jim.
Roger, Dan, 73. So have a great afternoon and a beautiful weekend. This is the Friday afternoon Qso-Vlog net. We're recording now live till 5, so if you have a radio you want to check out, give me a shout.
Kilo Charlie 9, Alpha Kilo.
Alpha Kilo, sir. Come back slowly phonetically with the call sign.
Kilo Charlie 9, Alpha Kilo.
Alpha Kilo. Roger, what's the name?
Name's Chuck, Indianapolis, Indiana, just northwest of the racetrack, a few blocks.
Isn't that amazing? I wouldn't have thought that we would have any kind of conditions just being 100 miles apart or so. Roger?
Yeah, good signal here, for sure.
Yeah, I'm on my local loop, 10-foot vertical magnetic loop. We have 3 of them. They're spaced at 0 degrees, 45 degrees, and 90 degrees. And then we have a push button selector, so we can just run through and figure out which one's hot and which is not. And so they have rotors, but the rotors are too slow to actually function in the real world like what we're doing here. So I just use 3 of them and be able to get the hottest one. Roger.
QSL, yeah, you're about 10 over 9 here, and we're running, what am I running? For about 700, go ahead.
Roger, what radio are you running?
7300, and I'm running through an SB 1000.
Roger that. We have a setup procedure for that if you might be interested. Starts with engaging the compressor at a 3. It's a token amount, but it does exactly what we need it to do to wind up with a 3 dB dynamic range. So if you'd be interested, set that old compressor engaged at a 3, Roger.
Nah, I don't run no compressor.
Yes, sir, but you're not achieving 80 to 85% average peak modulation either, Roger?
I don't know. It sounds fine everywhere I go. I know people where I talk, they don't run processors.
Yes, sir. Well, you know, everybody needs to float their boat, whatever, you know, course they need. Our set of procedures just designed to wind up with an 80 to 85% of average peak modulation. Unprocessed audio radio is running a 10 dB dynamic range with an average of 30% average peak modulation. So you know, you need some processing there to fatten that signal up. But gosh, you sound great. It's just that your dynamic range is probably about 5 dB as opposed to 3 dB. And what we're doing there is closing that dynamic range, and it just fattens the signal up.
Well, I got too many that say they don't sound good with processors. So yeah, I'm not the one that changes mind to everybody I talk to, so that'd be a bunch of crap.
Roger, well put. And I appreciate you dropping by, sir.
Yeah, thanks a lot. 73's KC9VKV.
Roger, if you'd like to hear your audio, we are recording now and later posting it up on YouTube. So if you go to YouTube and do a call letter search for Kilo Charlie 9 Victor Kilo Victor, followed by today's date 9/10/21, it will take you to this recording. Roger.
Oh yeah, thanks a lot. 73.
Roger, 73, sir. This is the Friday afternoon Qso-Vlog net. We're recording now live till 5, so if you have a radio you want to check out, give me a shout.
November X-ray 8 Bravo.
8 Bravo. Gosh, come back slowly phonetically with that call sign again.
Yes, November X-ray number 8 Bravo. Name here is John. We're in southeast Indiana, close to Cincinnati, and the other gentleman in Indianapolis. Nice short skip there. So back to you, sir, and I'll get your information. And running about 275 watts to a crazy dipole. Back to you, sir.
Roger. Well, you're sounding just beautiful on my 10-foot magnetic loop. You're sounding like you're right in the next room. What radio are you running, sir?
In G2.
Yaesu 3000, and I'm using an NRAD microphone. I got the DX Engineering has the little series, that's mic station and the mic. So give you a long cord, little cord. So I got that for the Yaesu there, and the amplifier is 811, 3 tubes in there, and I have a Palstar tuner, but I don't need it. So completely flat with the amplifier on. So I'm just using the metering system in the Palstar, which is very good. So very expensive meter, but I can, improve on the match here. Over.
Roger. Only improvement I could see was maybe get you a foam windscreen would help on the transients. I didn't hear many, but there were a few. So I think they're like $4, $5, and just solves all the problems. And I've got my Elmer in there, so I want to have to dump out of here and go see my Elmer. So let me say 73 up that way, John. Sounding good. Get yourself a windscreen, Roger.
Yeah, I'll do that. Yeah, they're pretty cheap, so I'll keep that on my list, and thank you. I just want to get a quick RS report. 73, and thanks to the QSO and the help. NX8B, have a good night.
Yes, sir. Well, I can't give you an actual S-meter reading because we're very likely RF gain in the front end to keep noise down and keep the original signal as close as we can, as opposed to receiver going into AGC and sucking up noise all the time. So, but you are a 10 over my noise level. You're 10 dB over my noise level. Like I say, I'm copying you on a 10-foot vertical magnetic loop. If you want to hear your radio, if you go to YouTube and do a call in a search for KC9VKV, followed by today's date, 9/10/21, that will be your recording and your audio. Roger, sir?
Well, very good. Thank you for doing that. Give me a call sign just one more time, please.
Yes, sir. Kilo, Charlie, 9, Victor, Kilo, Victor. KC9VKV. Name is Jim, Juliet, India, Mike.
All right, Jim. Where's your location?
Just across from Louisville, Kentucky. We're on the Indiana side of the Ohio River, right at Louisville.
Very good. Okay, I got a ham friend of mine down there. I'm a Zelmer, so I'll have to try to look him up and tell him to get on the air. You do any 2-meter work down there?
Oh, all the time, yeah, a lot. Not as much as we used to. We built a lot of Yagi antennas, but mainly now we're just been pretty much on HF, Roger.
Okay. Yeah, I need to drop him an email. So, Jim, thank you very much. We'll look for you again down the road. Thank you.
Roger, sir, 73. And now, my Elmer, what you doing, buddy?
Well, I was listening to a SDR receiver, and there was a gentleman telling another gentleman that he needed to come up here and get his audio checked out, and you'd be recording him. Dr. KC9VKV and then GTO. Yeah, he was going on and on about he couldn't remember the first, and of course I was listening to the receiver, and all was going good, in the right direction, and looking forward to cold weather and good times on amateur radio.
Yes, sir. Amen to that. Work that mic to the side of your lips just a little bit more, getting some transients there. You're running that 7300 hand mic or a hand mic?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I am right now. And but I turned to the side. And anyway, I as soon as he said that, I said to myself, wait a minute, it's Friday, and Jim's up on 88. So I'm going to just turn SDR off, press the button, bingo. So I'm transmitting on the 80-meter full-wave loop, and here we are.
Roger. Well, gosh, I'm getting ready to send out the Huskies over to your house to see what's going on there, Roger.
It's just basically, me getting in the right frame of mind, the right frame of health, and getting all the treatments. Got another one in November, and it's going to be I got two. They said it's every 3 months for 2 years. I said, okay, we'll just stay with that, and they said everything's all going in the right direction. I said that's even better. So, but no, I was listening to you out of K3FEF's SDR, Milford, Pennsylvania, and just laying down, just taking an easy, afternoon, quick nap type of thing, a power nap, as I say, and heard the guy telling the other guy, hey, you need to go up there and talk to him, and then he lost his settings. I guess he's got a 7300 with a 30 microphone or something, and I thought, well, you know what, man, I think I need to go up there and say hi to Jim. So here we are.
Yes, sir. Well, gosh, I've been missing my Elmer. You know what I mean?
Oh, I've been missing my sidekick. Yes, sir. At my 6 o'clock. It's been interesting. At the most, I just, like I said, after I think I went through that phase where I lost that loving feeling, and now I see the trees, starting to turn a little bit, and the temperature's actually got below 75 degrees, and I'm looking at it right now, and outside temperature 77.7, and I'm thinking, yeah, now we're getting somewhere.
Yeah, Roger. Well, you mean towards cold weather?
Yes, I definitely did not like this summer at all.
Roger. Well, I tell you the way I am. Just as soon as I get bored with one season, it changes and it goes to the next season. So I'm all in favor of that. And Mother Nature knows what she's doing. Let her do it. Just enjoy it.
Yes, indeed. So we're all vaccinated with all 3 shots. We should be climbing out of the lion's den here after November and be able to go over and have lunch with my VKV buddy at Burger King or wherever he chooses, and that kind of stuff. So I'm looking forward to getting my wings back, because I've been a house mouse too long.
Roger. Milford was down for a couple of weeks. Scared me to death. I thought they were gone. And, Milford's my main SDR go-to. And like I say, they were down for a couple of weeks, Roger.
I did not know that. I did not know that. I'm every night at 11 to 3 in the morning, I'm on Half Moon Bay, and then I switch back over. I'm on Half Moon Bay, and then I switch back over to different ones. So I did her iPhone with the. I just, the wife loves the noise, so she'll wake me up in the middle of the night and tell me, well, got to find a good conversation. So I reach out there, and most of the days in Utah or wherever, I got several ones I hit. I got them pre-programmed into the iPhone, and I leave it on charge all the time, and it really works out real well. I'm glad to see that you're still having fun and doing your audio reports on Friday, over.
Roger. Well, I'll let you know that I've managed to get 3 10-foot vertical mag loops out of that cable that you dropped by.
Awesome. You mean you got 3 vertical 10-foot loops, magnetic loops up, and you have just had all kinds of fun out of it?
Yes, sir. I have one at 0 degrees, one at 45 degrees, and one at 90 degrees. Roger.
Wow, and you're able to switch back and forth from the with R6 all coax, and switch back and forth and listen and zero in on them.
That's right. Now, 2 of them do have rotors, but I just right now I'm working as a scanner, and I just got my revised antenna switching in today, which is 4 push button selection. So I got 1 for my dipole, and the 3 other are for my magnetic loops, and I can put them together co-phase in any combination that I want. A lot of times you can get 3 to 4 dB hotter gain by co-phasing the 10-foot vertical magnetic loops.
Oh yeah. So the pickup coil is at the top or at the bottom, or where's your pickup coil at?
It's the coupling coil is at the top.
Capacitor's at the bottom.
Yes, sir, because, you need to tune the capacitor, and, you might wind up having to use a ladder to get to it at the top. But, yeah, I've made my own, when I first started, I didn't have, I was doing transmitter tests along with receive tests on the 10-foot vertical mag loops, and I didn't really have the capacitor to handle that. So when I was in Kroger, I was passing by this area of the canned goods, and I saw that there was a big can of red gold tomatoes. And so I said, that's nice. So I got me a big can of red gold tomatoes, stewed tomatoes. And then I went a little bit further, and I got into the cut green bean section. And there was a medium-sized can of cut green beans. I said, that's good, too. And so I got those 2. And while I got a mat that was a silicone mat. And when I got home, I dumped the tomatoes, and I dumped the beans, and I wrapped the little can, the mat around the little can, shoved it in the big can, and voila, I've got a 50 kVA capacitor.
That is awesome. That is absolutely awesome. Ingenuity at its best. I've got a meter over here that measures how many picofarads, microfarads, the whole 9 yards. So you could sit there and check that with the coax and know exactly where you are.
Well, like I said, at the time, that was neat because it took me probably about 10 minutes to get it 7188 with the red gold tomato capacitor.
Oh, boy, that's ingenuity at its best. Yeah, I took softballs and stuck in a big can one time, a paint can, all metal, and stuck a small can inside there and was able to make my capacitor that way. And it worked very well. I was very, very, very content with it. And even put a kilowatt through the thing, and it worked quite well.
Roger. I think a kilowatt arc is about 1.25 inches, somewhere around that. So you have to have spacing 1.25 inches for a KW into a large loop like that 10-foot vertical mag. But this red gold tomato can capacitor just worked beautiful. Now I must admit there was a little heating. I ran for about an hour QSO, and I went out and checked it, and it was just a little warm. So but never lost any power, never shifted any SWR, nothing, Roger.
Oh, man, you were transmitting and receiving off of it. Wow.
Yeah, since then, and I conducted a lot of transmitter tests. Actually, I used Milford as one of the test points, and I was A/B comparing my dipole against my 10-foot vertical mag loop, and invariably, the dipole would be hotter than the mag loop by 3 dB. Sometimes, every once in a while, the mag loop would catch up, but by and large, the dipole was always a little bit hotter than the mag loop. And, a 10-foot vertical mag loop for 40 meters, you're not going to hardly get vertically, you're not going to probably get much bigger than that. So I just use the mag loops for receiver antennas, Roger.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, they're great for receiving antennas. And there's a gentleman in Evansville that's got one in his apartment. And he keeps it in the living room, and he goes into the kitchen, and he runs 100 watts, and he talks, within 300 or 400 miles at nighttime on sideband. I've listened to him before. Very nice elderly man. And so he's kind of in the same situation as a lot of people are. Stuck in a small space, but they want to use the radio, and he uses it quite well for 100 watts and I think he bought it from MFJ or something. It's one of those $300 jobs. But I'm amazed I can hear him, but you're sounding extremely well. Jim, let me turn it back over, and you can make a call and see if there's anybody else out there that'd like to get in here and keep the hour of power on. And keep the audio tape running. This is N9 GTO, world famously known as KC9VKV's Elmer. Back to you, sir.
KC9.
Station calling. Come back with a call sign slowly, phonetically, please.
It's Kilo Golf 9 Oscar.
Roger, 9 Oscar. What's the name there?
Yeah, the name's Ken. I'm located in Marion, Indiana. Boy, you sound great here, Jim. I've been listening to you. I'm running an Icom 7300. I just bought it off a fellow. It's like a brand new radio. How's this thing sound?
It sounds beautiful. It sounds really nice. You've got 3 dB dynamic range, so you're right on target modulation-wise. I would suggest that you go into EQ and crank in about 3 clicks additional treble EQ from wherever you are.
Okay. I just got this thing, so I'm just learning the menus. Well, you guys are sounding great. Okay, I won't hold you, Jim. I wanted to see, this is the first contact I made on this thing. Of course, it took me a while to get the power supply connected and all that sort of thing, and then I had to read the manual. This is a new, I've got a bunch of rigs. I got an IC70, a 756 Pro 2, and it's got a band scope, but nothing like this thing. Okay, I'm not going to hold you, Jim. I need to get in there and start getting something ready for supper. Hey, thank you for picking me up, and I say hello to that other station. I think he said it was N9 GTO. I'm not sure. All right, Jim, thank you, and 7-3s, and maybe we'll tie in again sometime. KC9VKV, I think I have it right. Kilo Charlie 9, Victor Kilo Victor. This is KG90.
Roger, Ken. 73, sir. And like I say, that 7300 really sounds good. You just need a little more treble EQ. So 3 clicks boost, treble EQ, whenever you find out how to get to your equalization page. 73, sir. Sounding good.
Okay, 7-3s, Jim. Thank you so much. KG90.
W8 WIL.
The Whiskey 3, Kilo
Whiskey Baker 9, Mike.
Whiskey 8, Whiskey India Lima.
Whiskey India Lima Station. Come back slowly with your call sign again, phonetically.
Okay. This is Jane, Golf Echo November Echo. My call sign phonetically is Whiskey 8, Whiskey India Lima. I spoke with you, I don't know, it's probably been a couple months ago, Jim. Same rig. The only thing I've done is picked up a SM30 electric condenser mic to run along with this 7300.
Yes, sir. Well, whenever you change mics, you must remember always to go back and check your ALC for mid-scale to 2/3 operation. All mics are not created equal, and they have different output levels. So when you change mics, you want to go always back to your ALC and verify that you're running mid-scale to 2/3, Roger?
Oh, yes, I did. In fact, this little SM30 has an adjustment on the bottom of it. And right now, as I'm speaking, I'm going about two-thirds on it. So I turned it down from the factory. I just got it a couple of days ago. From the factory, it came wide open on the bottom. But before I was running an SM6 ICOM, and you told me lock it down, put the Band-Aids on it, and all that. Well, I've got 2 or 3 ICOMs, so I just picked up this SM30. And I was just curious how, am I about right with the audio on it? And I am about 2/3, and I did the 100, 200, 300. It's about halfway. I know the tonal quality may be different than the original SM6.
Roger, sounds good. I would, my pet peeve is always for a little more top end for enunciation, clarity, a little credence to the clear water there. I would suggest maybe in addition to 2 clicks treble EQ boost from wherever you are, Roger.
Okay, Jim. All righty. That's the SM30. Do you have if you've got a second, let me put my SM6 on there. That's the one that you originally set me up on with. And I haven't changed the thing as far as the settings. And maybe you can tell me the difference between this one here and that one as far as the tonal quality, okay?
Sure. I'm looking at that last one on the spectrum analyzer, so go ahead and shift to the other one.
Okay, now there you go. I'll give you a little conversation there. Yeah, this is the SM6. We originally set it up. You told me to put a sticker on it, lay it down, whatever. Of course, that's what I'm going to run normally when I run this radio. But I'm just curious between the difference between the new 30 that I got yesterday and this SM6 by ICOM that I bought. I think
Frequencies in use, please do not tune up on an active frequency.
Much difference between the two? Over.
Very similar, very similar. This one maybe has just a little more upper mids than the other one. Just a tad, but they're very, very close. And I think when you check your recording, you'll hear that they are very similar. So again, if you go to YouTube and do a call letter search for Kilo Charlie 9 Victor Kilo Victor, followed by today's date 9/10/21, that will take you to this recording, and you can hear the characteristics of the two. Roger.
Okay, Jim. Yeah. Thank you. I do appreciate it. I will do that. And are you listening to me on a different SDR or the one at your house?
I'm listening to my local radio, which is good down to 100 cycles. A lot of these SDRs roll out at 250. and you don't really get an accurate picture of the low frequency content. But this one on my local, I got you down to 100 cycles. Roger, Roger.
Yes, yeah. I noticed when I listened there last month, I think he was listening to me on the Pennsylvania SDR, and it seemed to have a lot of trouble in it because I think it cuts off at about 300 on the bottom end. So you're picking me up locally on yours, which will go down to 100. So okay, I'll get off of here, and I appreciate it. And I'll let somebody else, 450, you got 10 minutes for someone else to get in there. And I'll listen on the internet here in a couple of days, and I'll be able to tell the difference. 7-3, Jim, appreciate it. Whiskey 8, Whiskey into Lima, Jane, Golf Echo November Echo here in north central West Virginia. Take care, buddy. You're doing a good service for everybody. Bye-bye.
Roger, Roger. And as you spoke, I flipped over to Milford and ran Milford for just a little bit and then dropped back to my local. So you can really hear the difference between the SDR and my local receiver as far as the accuracy of low-frequency content. Sounding good. And I wouldn't kick either one of those microphones out of bed. I mean, you got it. Whichever one you want to use, my blessing. Roger?
Okay, Jim. Well, yeah, I appreciate you going from Milford and back. So that will you having receiving at 100, I think, cycles down compared to Milford's 300. It'll give me a truer idea of actually how I sound, because I'm running, wide, which would be 12900 on an ICOM, which would be 2.8 wide. So, okay, thank you, Jim. I'll be listening for this clip. 7-3 to you, and enjoy. W8WIL. Thanks for being there.
Roger, Roger. And just remember proximity effect. Proximity effect says that the closer you work your mic, the more bass buildup you're going to have. So I think in the earlier conversations you might have been just a little bit closer to mic, and at the latter part you were backing off maybe an inch or two more further from the mic than you were in the beginning, and your bottom end kind of thinned out just a little bit. Just a FYI, Roger.
Oh, yes, yeah. Well, it's true. This little SM6, I'm sitting back in my office chair here in the shack, and I've got a built-in shelf, and I actually pick it up and set it on my tummy. And right now I'm probably about 6-8 inches from the mic. Initially, when I came in on frequency, I may have been, 2-3 inches or so.
Roger, it's amazing. I got ears, and well, anyway, 73 that way, and thanks for dropping by. If you get a chance, join us next Friday, and in between time, if you want to, like I say, hear that audio, go to YouTube and do that call letter search, KC9VKV, followed by today's date, 9/10/21, take you right to this recording. This is the Friday afternoon Qso-Vlog net. My name is Jim, Juliet India Mike, and we are quickly headed towards Pumpkinsville time. We have about 8 minutes left. If you want to get your radio and listen to, have at it. This is KC9VKV listening. KY4HT. Come back. Well, gosh, I did it, but I want you to do it. Give me your call sign slowly, phonetically again.
Kilowatt Yankee 4 Hotel Tango, over.
Yes, sir. I do that because I have a nice little slug when I make my edits. You just start with your call sign for the beginning of our piece when I do separate breakouts from the long recording. What is the name there?
Name on this end is Dennis, Delta Echo November, Indian Sierra, over.
Roger, Dennis. And where are you located, sir?
QTHB, Murfreesboro, Tennessee.
Tennessee. Roger, Roger. And what radio are you running?
Excuse me, I'm running a Yazoo FT991A.
All right, sir. I can make that radio a lot fatter if you'd be interested.
Yes, sir, I am.
All right. Starts with your compressor engaged at a 3. It's a token amount, but it does precisely what we need it to do. So if you could get your compressor on and add a 3. Compressor and processor are the same thing.
Alrighty. Okay.
Alrighty, now we just want it at a 3, and we're only looking for about a third of its capability. So engaged on and at a 3. Then once we do that, we go to our ALC with mic gain in hand, and as we speak fairly rapidly, 100, 200, 300, we adjust the ALC for mid-scale to 2/3 operation via mic gain control. Roger?
QSL. Adjusting it as we speak.
Okay, you got to talk maybe just a little bit faster, because the thing is, if you talk like that, your meter never gets a chance to really show what it's doing. So as you speak fairly rapidly, 100, 200, 300, you adjust mic gain to where your ALC is running mid-scale to 2/3.
All right, okay, I'm adjusting it right now. Is that any better right there, over?
Alrighty, you're right at mid-scale to 2/3. Is that a Roger?
QSL.
Alrighty, now let's go to our EQ control, and we want to do +4 clicks treble boost from wherever you are.
All right, okay, I'm bringing it up +4 clicks. Like I said, I just got this radio set up, so I appreciate you getting the audio like it's supposed to be.
Yes, sir. So now you're at +4 clicks boost treble EQ from where you were, Roger?
QSL.
Alrighty, now what mic is that you're using?
I'm using a stock mic. I'm using the mic that came with the radio, but eventually I'm going to put a high PR781 on here, over.
Yes, sir. Okay, we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. Right now you're on a hand mic, and I want you to run that hand mic, pull to the corner of your lips. Talk across it. Don't talk directly into it. Talk across it, Roger?
QSL, okay, now I'm talking across the hand mic.
All right, now this may have shifted your ALC, so you want to go back and look at your ALC from mid-scale to 2/3 operation.
All right, okay, I'm looking at the ALC, and I'm turning it 2/3 over.
All right, and your let's see, you have a 3-band EQ on that radio. What is the radio you're running?
Yazoo FT991A.
Okay, and is that a 3-band or is it a multi-band with a parametric?
Multi-band with a parametric.
All right, well then what we're looking for is everything between 800 cycles and 1.5. We want that to be flat. Those controls need to be flat. Roger, Roger?
QSL, okay, you said everything needs to be flat. I'm turning it down now, okay. All right, okay, got it right there.
Okay, yeah, we're just talking specifically at this point between 800 cycles and 1.5K. All right, so those are flat. Then we want to go to an upper frequency control, say around 2.5 or 3K. Do you have anything in that range?
Yes, sir, I'm looking at it now. It says a 2.5.
All right, 2.5, boost that. What is the current reading of it?
The current reading is like, I'm turning it up, is like at 3.5.
All right, 3.5, make that +4 clicks from where you are, boost. 4 clicks boost on that control from where you are, Roger?
QSL. Okay, I'm turning it up 4 clicks now from where I'm at. Okay, I got it right there at 4 clicks there. Over.
All right, now give me about 10 or 15 seconds on what you like best about your radio.
Well, what I really like is the touch screen and the scope on it. That's what I really like about it.
All right, how much EQ range do you have left in that adjustment that you were working on?
I think I can turn it up another 2 or 3 clicks there. Over.
Go ahead and do that, sir.
Okay, turn it up to, okay, I'm at 3 clicks right there. Over.
Yes, sir, sounding a lot better. And what is the one above that? What is the frequency range of the control above that?
I think it's sitting right about 2.5, over.
All right, what was the one below that? Was it, what? The one that you adjusted, what frequency range was it?
It was at 3.5.
Okay, so 2.5. Go ahead and boost that +4 from where you are.
Okay, all right. Turn it up right there to +4 right there, over.
All right, take it 3 more.
All right. Turn it up 3 more, right. It's setting exactly 3 more clicks there.
Yes, sir. Now tell me about your antenna system.
Yes, sir. I'm working with a G5RV vertical. I'm working with a G5RV, and I have a Eagle 1 vertical, but I don't have it hooked up yet.
Excellent. Okay, we'll run with that. If you want to hear your recording, if you go to YouTube and do a call letter search for KC9VKV, that's Kilo Charlie 9 Victor Kilo Victor, followed by today's date, 9/10/21, that will take you to this recording so you can hear our tune-up and hear your radio in action. Roger?
Qso, I really appreciate all the help you're giving me because this radio has 193 menus in there, and I'm still learning it.
Yes, sir. It can be quite intimidating. I would suggest that you make a quick reference chart, notes of how to get to things. So the 5 major things would be mic gain, your equalization, your compression, and just the things that you get to, need to get to more often than others, and just make a quick note about how to get to those, and just leave it so you don't have to pull that book out every time you want to do something. Roger?
Yes, sir. Yes, as we was talking, I was writing down. I got a little recorder going, recording everything that you were telling me to do.
Yes, sir. Well, gosh, let's see. So, let's see, Dennis, and what's your location, Dennis?
Yes, sir. QTH is in Tennessee, over.
All right, sir. Let me say 73 to you, sir. Have a great afternoon, beautiful weekend, and if you get a chance, join us next Friday.
73, thank you. KY4HT on your phone.
Roger, roger. This is KC9VKV, the Friday afternoon Qso-Vlog net, and we've run up against 5 o'clock and turning into a pumpkin. So we got to get out of here. We enjoyed it, and hopefully those that participated enjoyed it. And if you would like to listen to your recording, if you go to YouTube, do a call letter search for Kilo Charlie 9 Victor Kilo Victor, followed by today's date 9/10/21. That will take you directly to this recording. Now, if you just do a call letter search for KC9VKV, that will take you to our Qso-Vlog page, and right now we're featuring about 1,800 Qso-Vlog recordings. So, it gives you a chance to hear other people's audios and say, hey, I like his, I don't like his, I like mine, and maybe I like that other guy's, but options, that's the whole name of the game. So there you go. We've enjoyed it. I hope you have also. So now we are returning this frequency back to normal, average, everyday amateur radio use. 73. This is Kilo Charlie 9 Victor Kilo Victor, clear.
Thank you, Jim. Thank you. I enjoyed listening to you.
Thank you very much. You're slightly off frequency. We were on 71, 88, 0000, Roger?
Yeah, I'm using an old Swan, so I better get on frequency. Does my audio sound halfway decent?
It's hard to tell. You're about half a click low, or I believe. Do you have a frequency counter on that radio?
Oh, I'm sorry. I don't have a frequency counter.
All right, click up about half a click and see what that does. The other way. Try going the other way about half a click. A mystery. What can I say? I guess you're hopefully tuned to my voice, and I hope my voice doesn't sound like your voice. I mean, we're technically altered, I'm speaking of, Roger.
Yeah, no, I'm right on your voice. I am right on your voice, Jim.
That's close. That's close. It's not exactly there, but it's a lot closer than where you were, Roger.
Yeah, thank you so much. Yeah, I just picked this up here, and I'm just testing it out, and I've got to get used to it again. So thank you so much, sir. 73.
Roger, Roger. I'll keep that at the end of this recording so you can hear it. What's your call sign here?
Oh, yes. Thank you, Jim. The call is Whiskey Baker 9, Mike Sierra Mike. Whiskey Baker 9, Mike Sierra Mike. And I'm located in Wisconsin. Wisconsin, over.
Roger, Roger. What's the name?
Yeah, the name is Denny. Delta Echo Nancy Yankee.
That's Denny, is that correct?
Yes, that is correct.
Roger. And what radio is that?
It's Swan 700CX.
Charlie X-ray?
Yes, I'm sorry. Yes, Swan 700 Charlie X-ray.
Roger, Roger, Denny. Okay, it'll be at the end of this recording. So if you go to YouTube, do a call letter search, Kilo Charlie 9, Victor Kilo Victor, followed by today's date, 9/10/21, will take you to this recording on a YouTube search. Roger?
Yeah, Roger, Roger. When do you have that up there? By the weekend?
Usually we try to get it by Saturday noontime, but we do give ourselves 48 hours, Roger. So hopefully we'll have it by noontime, but if not, then it'll be within 48 hours, Roger.
Yeah, okay. Very, very good. By the way, you're solid 2530 over S9. Thank you so much, Jim. I appreciate the contact.
Roger, Roger, 73 up that way, sir. Thanks for dropping by, and you have a great afternoon, beautiful weekend. And we got to get out of here now. So this is KC9VKV. We've already cleared off, so we'll just say, hasta la vista, adios, adios, muchachos.